pickup truck, well, even the average pickup truck now is going to be crossing over that $50,000 barrier.
Across the country, dealerships are panicking, incentives are skyrocketing, inventories are overflowing, and trucks that were once untouchable are being offloaded at shocking discounts. It's not just electric models, gas-powered icons are collapsing too. From rugged workhorses to family haulers, the truck market has hit a wall. And nobody's talking about why. Why are dealers practically begging buyers to take home a GMC Sierra with 5-figure discounts? What caused the Ram Classic to go from best value to bottom shelf clearance item? And what does it say when a Chevy Silverado can't even undercut its own twin? Stick with us, because this list isn't just about bad sales, it's about broken trust. Honda Ridgeline. Designed to merge the smooth comfort of a crossover with the utility of a pickup, the Ridgeline entered the market as a quiet disruptor. Honda's goal was clear: give drivers the ride quality of a sedan without sacrificing the bed and cabin versatility of a truck. On paper, it made sense. Underneath, it featured a unibody chassis, the same kind of construction used in SUVs and minivans, instead of the body-on-frame build that defines most mid-size pickups. The result was a remarkably refined driving experience, one that offered excellent on-road manners, better fuel efficiency, and far less vibration. Yet, despite those benefits, the Ridgeline never fully earned its place in the pickup hierarchy. Its maximum towing capacity, just 2,500 pounds, is dwarfed by competitors that can pull 5,000 pounds or more. For off-road enthusiasts, the lack of low-range gearing and true four-wheel drive ruggedness made it a non-starter, and stylistically, the Ridgeline feels neutral. It does not have the bold, squared-off look truck owners typically gravitate toward. Instead, it's visually muted, practical but not powerful. Inside, the Ridgeline shines. Soft-touch materials, intuitive controls, and class-leading interior space make it a pleasure to drive every day. It even comes with clever features like an in-bed trunk and dual-action tailgate. But these luxuries have not translated to meaningful sales. Many potential buyers view it as too much money for not enough truck. Honda's pricing strategy hasn't helped either, initially positioning the Ridgeline above many of its tougher rivals, despite its lower performance metrics. Now the market is correcting. Honda dealers across the United States have started quietly offering hidden factory cash, up to $7,300 off new Ridgelines in some regions. It's a clear sign that demand has cooled, inventory has piled up. Dealers are eager to clear space for more traditional offerings that move faster. Despite solid reliability scores and high consumer satisfaction ratings from owners, the Ridgeline simply isn't attracting new interest. Its greatest challenge remains its identity. It tries to straddle the line between crossover comfort and pickup toughness, but in today's polarized market, straddling that line can leave a truck stranded in no man's land. Traditionalists pass it by for lacking grit, while SUV shoppers dismiss it for being too truck-like. It is caught in the middle, a technically excellent machine that lacks tribal loyalty from either camp. Its downfall came not from failure, but from hesitation. Some pickups don't get that luxury. They're simply erased, whether the market is ready or not. Look, we tracked pricing data, rebate trends, and dealer memos across 14 models, so you could skip the noise and see what's really sitting unsold. If this saved you hours of research, all we ask is hit subscribe. It's the best way to support the work and never miss what dealers don't want you to know. Nissan Titan. The Titan once arrived with swagger. When Nissan rolled it out, the message was bold: challenge the American stronghold on full-size trucks. It was marketed as a more affordable alternative to the big names, with more power and value baked into every trim. Equipped with a 5,600 cubic centimeter V8 engine and serious towing strength, it had the mechanicals to compete. For a while, it looked like Nissan might actually carve out a loyal corner of the truck market. But as the years passed, the Titan slowly lost ground. It went nearly a decade without any meaningful redesign. In a segment where Ford, Ram, and General Motors refreshed their trucks every 3 or 4 years, the Titan remained largely unchanged after its 2016 update. Nissan didn't offer a heavy-duty variant. It missed embraced the hybrid and electric movement, and it never gained the commercial fleet presence that supports sales stability for rival models. In 2024, the verdict came down. Discontinued. Nissan quietly ended Titan production, citing slow demand and shifting priorities. For dealers, this spelled a fire sale. Zero-mile examples can now be found listed for 15 to 20% below manufacturer's suggested retail price, with thousands more in loyalty cash, trade-in bonuses, and factory rebates. Extended warranties are being thrown in. Even long-term maintenance perks are used as bait to move leftover inventory. Buyers might still like the Titan's simple power and honest design, but purchasing one now feels like buying into a dead end. Resale value is a major concern, and future service support could become problematic as parts availability drops. In a market that thrives on confidence, the Titan now exudes uncertainty. A discontinued truck might scare you, but what if the one you're buying today is already obsolete by the time you drive it off the lot? That's the next truck on our list. Ford Ranger. The Ranger's return to the American market was supposed to be a slam dunk. Smaller than the F-150 but more capable than compact crossovers, it positioned itself as the Goldilocks option for urban drivers who still wanted to haul gear or tow a boat on the weekends. Its turbocharged four-cylinder engine delivers peppy acceleration and respectable fuel economy. Payload and towing numbers are solid, and its compact size made it appealing in cities where full-size trucks are simply too large. But here's the problem. It arrived too early and stayed too long. The current generation Ranger is now nearing the end of its life cycle. A global redesign has already launched in other countries and is headed to the United States soon, bringing a new twin-turbocharged V6 engine, more advanced tech, and the long-awaited Raptor trim. That future model has completely overshadowed the current one. Buyers know what's coming. As a result, they're not biting. Dealers have resorted to zero-payment financing offers for the first 90 days, bundled accessories, and loyalty cash bonuses to move units. Still, many showrooms report average lot times above 90 days for the Ranger, signaling that inventory is not just high, it's stagnating. Adding to the challenge is internal competition. Budget-conscious buyers are flocking to the Maverick, with its hybrid engine and lower entry price. Meanwhile, traditionalists still prefer the F-150 for its power and prestige. The Ranger ends up caught in between, offering enough of everything but not excelling at anything. Even though it remains a mechanically sound truck, the market perceives it as yesterday's news. Shoppers want the next generation model, and they're willing to wait for it. Dealers are stuck trying to sell a truck whose best days are behind it, no matter how many rebates are stacked on top. When buyers skip the current model to wait for what's next, you know confidence is gone. And sometimes even the redesigned truck doesn't help. Chevrolet Colorado. When Chevrolet unveiled the redesigned version of their midsize truck, it looked like a slam dunk. Rugged styling, improved performance, and real off-road potential. Under the hood, a turbocharged four-cylinder engine delivering 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque promised power that rivaled full-size trucks. On paper, it checked every box. In reality, the pricing sent shockwaves through the segment. The starting price jumped by nearly 10% compared to previous models, pushing the Colorado out of reach for many mid-size shoppers. That turbo engine also came with a hidden cost: higher insurance premiums and increased maintenance expenses. Traditional buyers who had trusted the Colorado for its practicality found themselves reconsidering. Even loyal Chevrolet fans began hesitating at the dealership when they saw payments nearly identical to larger, more capable full-size trucks. To counter this, Chevrolet rolled out 1.9% financing for 36 months, along with conquest bonuses and regional cash offers. Still, these incentives haven't been enough to restore momentum. Sales are cooling and inventory is rising faster than expected. What was meant to be a flagship comeback has become a cautionary tale in how quickly pricing can bury potential. Colorado had the engineering, but not the positioning. A spec sheet isn't enough to earn loyalty, especially not when its corporate cousin tries to dress up the same platform and charge even more. GMC Canyon. While the Colorado struggled with pricing perception, its corporate twin faced an even harsher spotlight. The Canyon, built on the same chassis with identical powertrains, entered the market as the supposed premium alternative. The strategy? Charge thousands more for minor design tweaks and a more upscale badge. Buyers immediately noticed the overlap and started asking difficult questions, especially when the elevation trim offered little beyond cosmetic upgrades. Dealers are now pushing subsidized leases under $400 a month and low-interest loans to stimulate interest. Yet the Canyon continues to move slower than expected. It sells in lower volumes than its Chevrolet sibling, so even slight shifts in demand can quickly flood dealership lots. The math becomes brutal, especially when most buyers realize they are paying extra for style with no added capability or durability. Critics have labeled it a textbook example of badge taxation. While some trucks stumble because of real flaws, the Canyon's struggle is rooted in perception. In a segment where buyers are savvy and cost-conscious, paying a premium for sameness simply does not resonate. Price without purpose is a hard sell. The next truck tried to lean into nostalgia, but age and discounts only go so far when the platform feels ancient. Ram Classic. Originally designed as a short-term budget play after the launch of the new generation Ram 1500, the Ram Classic is still hanging on. Dealerships are flooded with aging stock, prompting manufacturer rebates north of $4,500. Built on a platform that traces back to 2009, it still uses hard plastics, outdated infotainment screens, and basic control layouts that remind drivers of another era entirely. Under the hood, it offers either a 3,650 cubic centimeter V6 with 305 horsepower or an optional 5,700 cubic centimeter V8 pushing 395 horsepower. While those figures look decent, the experience behind the wheel feels anything but modern. Buyers expect more now, more refinement, better tech, smarter efficiency, and the Classic simply cannot keep up with today's expectations. Even with deep discounts, some lots report over 175 days of unsold stock. That's a red flag in any market. The Classic survives purely on price, not product. And as the price gap narrows between it and far more modern alternatives, even bargain hunters are hesitating. Nostalgia may have kept the Ram Classic alive longer than anyone expected. Still, loyalty alone is no longer enough to compete. Staying stuck in the past carries a cost. And now, a once trusted name tried to reinvent itself, and in doing so, may have lost its most loyal followers. Toyota Tundra. This was once Toyota's answer to American truck dominance, a model defined by reliability, simplicity, and raw V8 power. That formula ended when the company replaced its naturally aspirated V8 engine with a twin-turbocharged hybrid V6. On paper, it was a technical leap forward. 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque, promising more towing, more speed, and better fuel economy. In practice, it introduced complexity that longtime Tundra buyers never asked for. The hybrid system added thousands to the sticker price and brought with it new concerns: battery longevity, expensive diagnostics, and unfamiliar maintenance routines. Instead of attracting a broader audience, Toyota's overhaul alienated its loyalists. These were buyers who trusted the old Tundra to work hard and keep working, not experiment with untested technology. In response, Toyota Financial now offers 1.99% annual percentage rate financing on new Tundras in several states, trying to lure buyers back before the summer Tacoma retool begins. The problem is no longer just price, it is perception. Once viewed as the no-nonsense option in the full-size market, the Tundra now feels like a complicated gamble. Even dealers admit privately that moving the hybrid V6 model takes more effort than expected. Sales teams are leaning heavily on loyalty rebates, extended warranties, and low-interest loans to move inventory. But even those tools aren't closing the gap. The truth is simple: you cannot reinvent a legend without earning back its trust. And right now, Toyota is learning just how deep that trust used to run. Tundra's gamble changed the rules. The next truck tried rewriting them altogether, with electric torque, six-figure price tags, and showroom silence. Ford F-150 Lightning. When Ford revealed the Lightning, it was supposed to redefine the pickup truck. Silent acceleration, zero tailpipe emissions, and more torque than anything in its class. It was marketed as a revolution for working Americans. But towing a trailer or hauling payloads changed everything. Suddenly, the range that once promised 320 miles dropped to around 160, or even less under stress. For truck buyers who rely on consistent long-distance power, that was unforgivable. Adding to the problem was the pricing spiral. Ford raised the base price multiple times, pushing well-optioned Lightning trims past $100,000. Even with federal tax incentives, buyers looked at the math and walked away. Inventory started to pile up. Dealerships responded with massive discounts, up to $15,000 in some cases, and stacked on 0% financing for 72 months. Despite these record-setting deals, the Lightning is now sitting untouched in many regions. Some dealers have even paused new orders entirely. This wasn't just a pricing miscalculation. It was a mismatch between innovation and what truck buyers actually value. The Lightning promised a future that wasn't ready. While its technology is impressive, real-world usability lagged behind the marketing. When ambition runs ahead of practicality, the fallout spreads. Now imagine a truck that was never built for the masses, just for headlines, and still missed the mark. GMC Hummer EV pickup. General Motors built the Hummer EV to be outrageous. An all-electric super truck with crab walk mode, absurd weight, and an asking price north of $100,000. It succeeded at turning heads but failed to find a market. At over 9,000 pounds, the Hummer EV is more spectacle than solution, and buyers have started to treat it as such. Inventory has begun to pile up as GM quietly shifts its battery resources toward higher volume electric models like the Equinox EV. To clear space, dealerships are offering aggressive incentives. 0% financing for 60 months is now common on leftover 2024 models, especially the heavily optioned Edition 1 variants. While the Hummer EV was never intended as a mass-market product, it has become a burden on the showroom floor. GM has begun reallocating Ultium battery supply away from Hummer production, focusing instead on smaller, more affordable EVs that actually move units. Dealers have even begun repackaging the truck, offering bundled gear, trail credits, and specialized delivery packages just to create perceived value. Yet none of that addresses the core issue. This truck was always too much for too few. Overkill can be thrilling until it starts collecting dust. And Chevy proves that even familiar names with bold reinventions are struggling to earn trust. Chevrolet Silverado EV. It was supposed to be General Motors' breakthrough, an electric pickup with bold design, big numbers, and Silverado credibility. Early production runs promised luxury appointments, futuristic styling, and cutting-edge performance. Yet the very elements that made it exciting on paper have made it nearly impossible to move on showroom floors. With initial price tags climbing well beyond $65,000 for early trims like the Edition 1, buyers expecting a practical work truck quickly backed away. Features meant to attract tech-forward professionals alienated traditional truck shoppers who were expecting usability, not opulence. General Motors has now entered damage control. To offload unsold 2024 models, dealers are offering 0% financing for 60 months, along with aggressive lease incentives and up to $7,500 in federal clean vehicle credits. However, those credits are facing increased scrutiny, and General Motors is racing against time to get these electric pickups registered before legislative adjustments wipe out the incentive advantage entirely. Despite its platform potential, the Silverado EV is stuck in a perception trap. Too luxurious for the job site, too clunky for daily suburban life, and too late to convince early adopters who already went with other brands. This truck's failure doesn't mean electrics are done. It means customers are demanding more than just quiet torque and digital dashboards. They want affordability, utility, and trust in the technology. None of those things came together at launch, and the pricing strategy ensured the Silverado EV stayed parked. As General Motors tries to reposition this model for mainstream adoption, one thing is clear: electric pickups may be part of the future, but the present still demands value. Now, if electrics aren't connecting, can the gas-powered originals still hold their ground? GMC Sierra 1500 refinement, they said. That was the angle. The Sierra was built to stand slightly above the Silverado, to feel more composed, more premium, more distinctive. On the surface, it delivered chrome accents, stitched interiors, and a Denali badge that symbolized elevation. Yet buyers began to see through the veneer. Mechanically, it is nearly identical to its Chevrolet twin. Same frame, same engines, same performance. What it offered in additional aesthetic polish, it lacked in meaningful innovation. And that is where the trouble began. Today, dealers are offering up to $7,850 in trade assist cash, 0.9% annual percentage rate financing, financing, and even loyalty perks for existing General Motors customers. The reason is simple: price sensitivity. When a Sierra costs $4,000 to $6,000 more than a comparable Silverado, buyers expect more than just stitched leather and a new grille. Instead, they're turning to rivals like the Ram 1500 and the Ford F-150, both of which offer real interior luxury, advanced infotainment, and a deeper sense of brand character. General Motors has been hesitant to drop sticker prices outright, fearing it would devalue the Denali sub-brand. So they've leaned heavily on finance tricks to maintain volume without wrecking long-term resale. But perception is already shifting. The Sierra's once confident identity as a premium pickup is now seen as thin marketing gloss over aging bones. Design polish means little when innovation stalls. What follows is a truck still selling on name alone, though the name isn't shining like it used to. Chevrolet Silverado 1500, built tough. That has always been the promise. For years, the Silverado 1500 was the reliable, no-nonsense workhorse for everyone from farmers to fleet buyers. But in 2025, that image is wearing thin. Its last major redesign arrived in 2019, and what once felt rugged now seems outclassed. Competitors have leapfrogged ahead with more comfortable interiors, smarter tech, and fresher design. Meanwhile, Silverado still offers hard plastics, a dated user interface, and little to no real interior upgrade across trim levels. The consequences are showing up across dealership networks. Some lots are stacking up Silverado inventory at an alarming pace, especially in upper trims where the sticker price can push $60,000. In response, dealers are rolling out price cuts that reach as high as $12,000 in combined factory and dealer incentives. Long-term financing plans, extending out 7 years, are now being packaged with bundled service contracts just to make monthly payments tolerable. Yet even these deep cuts aren't moving metal fast enough. The Silverado's core appeal, durability, torque, and hauling power is still intact, but the new era of pickups demands more. Truck buyers today are tech-savvy, price-aware, and value comfort as much as strength. That's where Silverado is falling behind. It's not that the truck is bad, it's that it hasn't kept up. Legacy alone won't carry you forward. Next up, a pickup that tried to merge image and ability and lost traction with both. Jeep Gladiator. It looked like the perfect answer to off-road dreams. A pickup truck with the heart of a trail machine and the body of a rugged utility vehicle. Jeep promised adventure without compromise, blending Wrangler heritage with bed utility. In the beginning, the Gladiator turned heads, but as more buyers took them home, reality began to settle in. On rugged terrain, it lives up to the hype. On highways, it falls apart. The steering is vague, the ride is jittery, and cabin noise is intrusive enough to drown out conversation. It simply does not offer the comfort today's buyers expect in an everyday driver. Despite its serious trail credibility, the Gladiator has failed to find a solid position in the mainstream market. The biggest issue is the overlap in pricing and image with the more refined Wrangler four-wheel drive electric hybrid. When both vehicles sit side by side, and one feels more advanced and livable for the same money, the choice becomes obvious. Even buyers drawn to the Gladiator's image are often turned off once they take a test drive. Now inventory is piling up. Stellantis halted production for multiple weeks to manage stock, and dealerships are resorting to aggressive incentives. $6,000 in factory rebates, 0% financing for 72 months, and bundled off-road gear are just the start. Some lots even include trail kits and appearance packages at no cost, hoping to sweeten the deal. Off-road purists still love it, but the general public does not. It is a truck built for trails, not traffic. The gap between capability and comfort has become too wide. When trail cred overshadows real-world livability, buyers retreat. Which leads us to the final car on our list, the most iconic of them all, now at risk of losing its grip entirely. Ford F-150. This is the truck that built its reputation on toughness, dependability, and broad appeal. The Ford F-150 was the undisputed sales leader, the no-brainer choice for hardworking Americans. But in the year 2025, the market's confidence has started to unravel. In its quest to appeal to everyone, the F-150 may have lost sight of who it was really built for. Over the past few model years, Ford has stacked the F-150 lineup with luxury trims, hybrid powertrains, and complex tech features. Fully loaded models now climb beyond $100,000, well into luxury vehicle territory. For contractors, small business owners, and everyday truck buyers, that price point is not just unreachable, it is insulting. What once felt like a tool now feels like a showroom centerpiece nobody can afford to scratch. When even the best-selling truck in America is sitting unsold with 5-figure discounts, what does that say about buyer trust? Are features and flash finally losing to value and simplicity? Let us know what you think in the comments. If this insight helped connect the dots, tap subscribe. And thanks for riding along with us.